Hey guys, this is Raquette, your nutritionist, and hopefully you're watching this video in prep week and not because you're experiencing keto flu. We're going to talk about keto flu today and how to really avoid that so you feel really good in your journey. I didn't have enough information when I got started on the ketogenic diet, and this hit hard. I wasn't prepared, and I ended up being at church and it all set in and I had to come home. I felt like I was dying. You literally feel like you're having the flu. And I want to explain the science behind that and how to help you sidetrack that so you can have a good experience. So when you go on your ketogenic journey, first of all, what do you guys think about my Christmas backdrop? Because it's the holidays and you guys are just jumping into this. So it's going to be really fun looking hot for the holidays. Okay, so what happens is you're going to pull your carbs down to 20 per day, right? And that's going to force your body to go into what's called ketosis, where you're burning fats for fuel. So there's 3 or 4 things going on that I just want to go over, and so you understand what the science behind what's going on in your body, because it's really cool. But if you don't understand it, then you'll go, "This is stupid, and I'm ditching out." So your body is used of most people's bodies that have been utilizing glucose for fuel. What's going to happen is, when you pull the carbs and you don't have that glucose available, you have probably about 100 to 150 milligrams of glucose in your liver that your body's going to burn through that in the first 72 hours or so. Okay, and so as you start and you pull the carbs down and you start depleting your carb stores and your body's used to using glucose for fuel, the first thing that's going on that you don't hear talked about, but this is true: carbs are addictive. Sugar, carbohydrate, especially simple carbohydrates, they hit the pleasure centers in the brain. And it's that same pleasure center that people get from street drugs. So you're going through carb withdrawal. You're going to go through a little bit of carb withdrawal. And just know that. And we're going to help you work through that. But it's not just all the electrolytes that we talk about. It's a little bit of, addiction and carb withdrawal. Now, if you will avoid, I know this is hard because you can add this back in later. And there's lots of fun recipes in here on fat bombs and cookie dough and all of that. And I love it. And I want you guys to get into that. But if you stay off of your artificial sweeteners for your first 30 days, just stay as clean as you can. If you need it, then use that. I'm a swerve girl and we'll go into artificial sweeteners later, but try and go off of that because it just perpetuates that sweet addiction, so it just keeps you going and wanting more, craving more sweets. And so if we can totally pull that out and transition your body over, but you guys, we are rewiring your entire cellular body to be able to utilize fat for fuel. And so what's going on, if you imagine, we've talked about this before on another, but I just want you to understand, if you imagine a tank of gas, and so it's gasoline, and this is your carbs. But over here you have a reserve tank of fat. But your body will not let you use that when there's glucose available because that's the preferred source of fuel. So you have to go through all of your carb stores, your glucose, your gasoline, your crappy gasoline, before your body converts over to your reserve tank that's your fat, and think of that like jet fuel. So once you get over there, your brain's going to be firing better. You're going to have better energy, better mental clarity. It's going to be awesome, but you have to deplete the carb stores first. Now, in the process of depleting, you get all the carb stores out, and at the bottom of your very tank is some sludge. And so you have to burn through that sludge, and your body's like trying to function on that. And you're like, ugh. So if you don't understand, you're not prepared, then what you're going to do, your body's going to rebel a little bit. You'll get that feeling like, get in the kitchen and eat a carb. So make sure that your pantry is prepared, that you've got all your red light foods out of there when that hits, when your body rebels. Some of you that are hypoglycemic, you're going to be like, I'm dying. I actually need some carbs because I'm hypoglycemic. No, you're hypoglycemic because you've been functioning on carbs. So go through the process if you need to lay down or whatever. But that's the first thing that's going on is, you're addicted to carbs. Now, the second thing is electrolytes. When you pull your carbohydrates, for every gram of carbs you have in your body, you retain about 4 grams of water. And so, I'm always hounding my patients on drinking a lot of water, but when you're on this ketogenic diet, you have to be vigilant with your water intake. And so, because it's hard to stay hydrated because of that, because you've lost you and your insulin levels are down. When your carbs go down, your insulin level is going to come down. Your insulin is what controls the kidney pump. And so your sodium, not only are you going to be losing a lot of your electrolytes, now your body is an electrical system. Your entire body is wired to be an electrical system. And so it functions on electrolytes. Now, if your electrical system gets off, it's not good. That's what causes you to have a headache and dizzy and aches and brain fog and fatigue and all of nauseousness. You'll feel a lot of nauseousness. I'll explain that in a second. Well, let's talk about your electrolytes for a minute. So as you lose your electrolytes, there's 5 of them, but the top 3 key ones is your sodium, potassium, magnesium. So let me tell you how to sidetrack that. One of the first things is your sodium. So I thought I brought it in here. Oh, I have some, but oh, it's here. So this is your pink, mine's almost gone, your pink Himalayan salt. And so you can order it on Amazon. You're going to put a pinch of this in your either bone broth or coffee that you're drinking in the morning, and then just use it throughout the day. But I'm not going to tell you how now, but I'm going to watch the video. I'm going to teach you how to take these crystals. You can use this Himalayan salt too, but I like these big chunks of crystal. I'm going to show you how to make your own Soleil water. And so it's kind of like a water that's infused with pink Himalayan salt that is loaded with all of your trace minerals. It's got the potassium and the magnesium and your sodium. So pink Himalayan salt is going to sidetrack a lot of that, especially if you're drinking Soleil water throughout the day. Okay, now your potassium. Your potassium, let's talk about foods that are high in potassium. So make sure that you're doing your dark green leafies. You can take supplements, you guys, but I'm going to tell you a couple things to take, but get it out of your food. What I want to bring to the ketogenic world is to make sure that instead of, eating the crappy fats and all of the gross stuff, that we're getting, a really clean diet with a lot of phytochemicals. So make sure that you're getting tons of vegetables. I always tell my people 7 cups to 24 ounces, which is a lot. So spinach is one of the highest, so you can saute it, you can put it in a salad. Mushrooms are actually really high in potassium, so you can end up using those. Salmon is a great choice. Nuts and seeds are actually a really good choice to up your potassium, and eggs actually. And so there's these different things that you can eat. But also your magnesium. So magnesium, the cool thing is a lot of the foods that I just mentioned are actually high in magnesium as well. And so if you're doing the Isogenics products, then you can end up taking your Isoflush. That's an ozonated magnesium that hydrates the colon, because a lot of times when you pull a lot of your fruits and veggies out, which you're going to do on a ketogenic diet, then you are not getting the fiber intake. So that actually helps with constipation and your magnesium levels and that kind of stuff. So that's really helpful too. Now, the last thing that's happening, once you've pulled your carbs, you're training your body to burn fat for fuel, and it doesn't know how to do that. You're going to up your fats and watch the video on fats and what different types of fats. But as you increase your MCTs can be utilized for fuel really quickly. So they help with the process of being able to go from glucose to ketones. And so because they convert real quick. And so what you can end up doing is upping your fats, but you haven't been using fat for fuel, so your body doesn't actually have those enzymes. It takes a minute for your body to upload those enzymes that are going to break down fat. And so when, as you're going through that process, you might feel nauseous because your body's like, oh, I don't really know how to deal with that fat. And if you up your fats too fast, then you're going to end up getting diarrhea. So make sure that you just take a teaspoon a fat where it's, calls for a tablespoon on the food plan, make sure that you do a teaspoon so you can up that slowly and see how your digestive system does. So, so one of the things too, you guys, is that if you're doing cardio, that cardio is going to help you get into ketosis quicker. And the quicker you can get into ketosis, the better you're going to feel because your body is going to be utilizing that. But just know that sometimes it happens in 3 days, but sometimes it's going to take 3 to 6 weeks. So if you stay on top of your Sole water, getting your minerals, getting your foods that are rich in potassium and, your magnesium, you're going to feel really good. You can do Smart Water. If you want to do more electrolytes, you can do Smart Water, Mio, Propel. They all have, electrolytes in there. One of the things that I like to do is Zip Fizz. Zip Fizz is, because B vitamins are part of the components that help you upload those enzymes into your system, B vitamins and minerals. And so in the Zip Fizz, there's tons of vitamin B12, so it helps your mood. And a lot of times when people are transitioning, they get moody because your body's like, hey, I love my carbs. And so you have to be strong, and then that's going to click over sooner or later. So we're going to stick together with you guys while you're going through that process so you can feel good throughout that process. I jotted some stuff down so I just make sure I miss anything. Oh, this is a big deal. So your gut health. When you pull carbs and your body starts functioning on fats and ketones, there's a period of time where what happens is your body, your digestive system, fats are actually a good source, and the bacteria in there, feeds on that, but your good bacteria goes down for a minute. And so you have more endotoxins in your body. Now that sounds bad, but the Sole water is going to help because it's a detoxifier. So it's going to help detoxify your body as you're doing that. But one of the number one key things you can do is bone broth. So bone broth is actually, it's got the minerals in it. It's also got, and especially if you put a little bit of fat and you put your pink Himalayan salt in there, it's really, really good. And so bone broth is what it's going to do is it's going to help the collagen in it is going to help seal your digestive system. And so I'm dealing with a lot of people that have, leaky gut syndrome. And it just comes from all the processed crap, the GMOs that we've been eating in our foods. And so when you can heal and seal, we call it heal and seal, the digestive wall, rebuild the mucosal lining on the digestive wall, your gut health is going to be so much better. And so that is, on the program, if you look, someone asked me tonight, what's the best thing, coffee or bone broth? And I say bone broth. Coffee is a little bit on the acidic side, and my whole goal in life is to move people to an alkaline state where disease and illness doesn't fester. And so oxygenated and alkaline is, the best point for your body to be, and bone broth is going to help with that. Okay, so hope that helps. If you have any question, drop your question below and we can answer that. One of the bone broths that I really like is Kettle and Fire, and here's why. Because they add apple cider vinegar, and you can add that to your program, but apple cider vinegar just has the minerals that helps you upload your electrolytes quicker, and it actually helps with gut health tremendously. So when you get that concoction of bone broth and apple cider vinegar, it's really great for your gut health and for your transition and getting your electrolytes up. So, okay, so you can really help your body to sidetrack the keto flu if you're doing it right. Make sure you're getting all your electrolytes with your Isoflush, lots of potassium-rich foods, and your pink Himalayan salt. Watch the video on fats so you know what fats to get, and also watch the video on Sole water if you haven't yet. Thanks, and have a great day.